Community Conversations is a space that fosters conversation around topics important to us, with the purpose of creating an educational opportunity to teach, learn, work, and grow together. With your host, Ina.
Welcome to another episode of Community Conversations, a space to learn, work, and grow through different topics that are important to us in the spina bifida and hydrocephalus community, and well, humanity at large, I guess. Yes. So today's topic is leadership. And before we start, I almost forgot to say, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do hit the subscribe button, or I don't even know what it's called, but below. And if you like our conversations, comment, or if you don't like, let us know. Comment below. We would love to have a conversation. Yes. So leadership. First and foremost, I want to hear from you, Danny and Diva. What do you think leadership is?
Go, Danny, go.
Ooh, leadership. I think it's somebody in a place or a role that has somebody in a position that has specific roles and responsibilities to serve somebody else or a community of people or a nation of people, or a team. It's somebody in a position that is serving a group of humans, I guess. Yeah.
You, Diva?
Well, similar to Danny, it's a person with a collection of qualities that is there mainly to make a group or and an individual to strive to a specific goal or outcome.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. Really, really well said. I would also add that leadership or to lead, you, of course, there is leading other people, like a group or in a workplace or as a camp leader or that. But it's also leading yourself.
Yep, definitely.
We talked about it before we hopped on with our friend Lexi, who couldn't join today, but we hope she feels better. And it's I believe the strongest form of leadership is leading yourself, and by listening to myself, I can be a, a good role model to the group I'm leading, or the individuals.
Mm. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And we have also what uh, what what do you think makes a good leader? Qualities or skills or
Well, I think one of the things that you just said, Ina, that I really loved was modeling the way. So it's one thing to just like tell people to do things, but I know even through the lens of being a teacher in music, I never, ever, ever want to ask somebody to do something that I'm not willing to do or try myself as well. Because just because I'm in that position of like knowing some things about how to do those things doesn't give me the power to, or shouldn't anyways, give me the power to do whatever I want to make somebody else feel like they are lesser than me. And if I'm not willing to also do that thing, then it's my I try and function through the lens of, if I'm not willing to do that thing myself, then I do not want to ask somebody else to do it, because for me that's just not it's not fair. I know that I wouldn't be willing to do it, so why am I gonna, through this position of say leadership that I'm in, why am I going to ask that person to do it rather than model the way? Show somebody a thing, and actually model what those things looks like. So, for example, I could tell you all day long, how to respect somebody, but it's not very, again, to me it's not very good leadership if I'm talking about how to respect somebody, but then in a completely different conversation being super disrespectful to people, without even caring or without even acknowledging. Say somebody says to me like, yo, listen man, like come on. If I'm not willing to take that feedback and like step back a minute and go, yo, yeah, I'm sorry that, I my bad. I'm so sorry. I gotta start to walk my talk a little bit more. I gotta start to model the way, and not just talk about things that are beautiful things, but actually model the way. Yeah. Uh, anyways, I think I really, really love that idea of modeling the way, as you just said it as well, Ina, actually doing and leading yourself, and through that, people also seeing like, oh, maybe that's the way. They have seemed to take some time to really develop their own leadership style and skills, and so maybe I should try that. Maybe I should continue to dive deeper into some of those things that they do well as a leader through my own style, because of course all three of us are different leaders, and that's an incredible thing. I think that's one of the reasons that we have a really cool team between the four of us, because we are all much different leaders. And the reality is, nobody in this room wants more than one loud and obnoxious person like me. um, because I love that about myself. But as I joke with both of you and with all of us, I'm working on, through the lens of everything we're doing here at the Song of City, continuing to try and step up and like use the skills that I know I have, but also step back and not always be the rah 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 front person. So trying again for me to realize, cool, I know what kind of leader I am, but I want to evolve my leadership style. I want to learn new skills that, or even strengthen skills that I know I can do, but I want to focus on that and strengthen that piece. Anyways, yeah, sorry, I've gone off topic a little bit, but I think some of those things are definitely a part of leadership qualities and the fact that your leadership style never stops growing, never stops evolving, and you might be one type of leader, but you're not just that type of leader. You can develop new leadership skills that help you become a different kind of leader. And that's really really cool. A company I used to work for, we had a leadership exercise called the leadership wheel, or we based it around a compass. And you've got like your northern leader, you've got your southern leader, you've got your eastern leader, you've got your western leader. So your northern leader is like the bulldozer. Let's just get the job done, regardless of you. Let's just get it done. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Your southern leader is like, okay, I want to make sure everyone's included. I want to make sure everybody feels good. Your eastern leader is like, what are the details here? What are the logistical person? What are the details? What do we need to know? What's the start date? And da 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 da. The western leader is the visionary, the person with all the ideas, big dreamer. Doesn't necessarily do all the easternly things very well. And it's interesting when facilitating that exercise with kids, because one of the outcomes that we come to is, sweet, I lean more towards like a northern leader, but like the goal is to be as centered as possible. So you're able to be a northern leader when you have to be. You're able to be a southern leader when you have to be. You're able to be that big dreamer, big thinker, but then you're also able to organize those things logically as well. So you're like getting that well-rounded vision of leadership through all those different qualities.
I would really love to come back to that.
Yeah.
I just want to let Diva in.
Yes, heck yes, please. Please.
I don't mind you talking.
No, shut me up. You
like
both know, please.
I like when you talk.
Take the microphone away from me, please.
You're too far away.
Where's my microphone? I'll pass it to you.
It's in your computer then.
You're so loud, you don't need a microphone.
Yeah. Anyway, I would love because the different personality styles or leadership styles is very important. So I would love to come back to that. But first, Diva, what in your opinion makes a good leader?
A good leader is a person that listens to the people that are supposed to lead and has a dialogue with them, sees their strengths, their weaknesses, and tries to enhance the strengths and also the weaknesses as well. So they're not seen as weaknesses anymore, or less them. A person that sees the qualities the person has, and how that can and what the person that they are dealing with has to offer. The qualities that I look for is a person that practices what they preach, just like you said, Danny.
Yeah.
It is. I've worked with a lot of people, and I've been around a lot of people that had this idea that if I read it in a book, I'm an expert, or if I heard it from someone else, I'm an expert. And it doesn't work that way. If you haven't, sure, you can read about something, or you can try to understand a concept that you've heard about. But if you haven't applied it to your own life, and don't have the experience, then it's useless, in my opinion. Yeah, honest as they can, trustworthy. Yeah.
I know if I could just add one word there, because we talk a lot about it here, is integrity as well. I feel like that.
Definitely.
Huge,
Absolutely.
huge.
Absolutely. And I've been into leadership for a couple of years now, and integrity it has meant a lot to me, at least. And not to be one of those people that, just as I said, heard about a concept or read about a concept but have no experience. It's like, I'm not going to listen to that person. I'm not going to follow their example, because they don't have examples. They have other people's examples that they haven't tested themselves.
Totally. That makes me think of ski school. I don't know if that's the
ski school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like adaptive. Excuse me. And I don't know if they're called teachers, but anyway, they are able-bodied. Of course, they have tried and sat in sit skis, buy skis, ski carts, the thing that we use, but it's different if I, as a disabled, teaches a kid to ski, because I can't use my legs. So then the credibility is deeper. But speaking of that ski school, which is Totalskidskolan here in Sweden, it's the best. Just FYI. That's where I learned to ski, and where my love for skiing comes from. So and which I've had for 30 years now. So
so good.
That's why
so good.
If if you watch this or know of Totalskyddsskolan, I love it. I love it. Just FYI.
They're really good.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and maybe that was not the best examples of what you both said, but that was what came.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was good. Yeah.
One of the examples from my life that I have is the leadership training that I've had through organization that me and Ina are a part of. It's called RJ Active Rehabilitation. I've been a participant of their activities since 2013, and my goal was first to sit in a single kayak, because when I started, I was sitting with one of the leaders. So the goal was to go from being assisted in a kayak to a single kayak, and that meant going through a certain amount of tests, if you like. One of the things that I had to do, or everyone that is interested in sitting in sitting in a single kayak, is do a flip from when you sit, and then you need to like tilt and fall into the water. So you're upside down in the water and get yourself up from that position.
Jeez.
Yeah. I always been afraid of drowning due to shitty events in my life. And that was an obstacle. That was really, really hard. And when you have spina bifida, there's going to be some physical things that you need to have take into consideration. Like I can't feel my feet or my legs sometimes, part of my legs, which makes it very difficult to float.
Yeah.
So it's like part of my body is sinking if I'm not in control of it.
Yeah.
So not from control of my body, being upside down in a freaking kayak.
Yeah.
Try to stay calm, think clearly, and get up. I think I've tried it for like 3 years, three attempts it took for me to actually manage that.
Jeez.
And when I did manage it, I wasn't the happiest person alive in that on that day, because I was quite ashamed that I couldn't do that before. And one of the leaders that coached me before said that that is actually your strength, because now you can tell other people that are afraid what you went through, how that felt. And they can take strength from that.
Yeah, and knowing that you did it.
Yeah, exactly.
You were afraid, and you're still afraid, and it's I mean, it's the most natural thing in the universe. I mean, it's not you're not supposed to be upside down, strapped to a kayak. underwater,
Yeah.
I mean, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that was said to me by one of the people that coached me, is like, it's okay for you to be afraid. This isn't natural. You're not supposed to like it.
Yeah.
You're not a fish. You can't breathe underwater. Your body is going to resist. Your survival instincts are going to kick in.
Yeah.
And if you have some sort of trauma, it's going to be a lot worse. If you can't feel your whole body, that's going to make it a lot of worse. So you have a lot to work against, which is fine. There's nothing to be ashamed of. That's totally understandable. If you can do it on first, second, third attempt. I managed on the third attempt because I was so pissed off at myself. Yet again, do things with aggression. but that worked. I did it, and now I'm going to this upcoming week I'm going to work as one of the leaders.
Yes, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Feel the fear, but do it, and do it anyway.
Super important.
Yeah.
Very important, I think. To show our weakness and push through it and do it anyway. And by doing that, you show the people or kids that you lead that it's first of all okay to fail, and then okay to feel whatever emotion you're feeling. It's okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I was just having a conversation yesterday with somebody about the idea of failure, and I know it's kind of a little bit of a cliche, but it's still a cliche that, quite honestly, as a person that is inside of me slightly a perfectionist, I like things to be as good as they can be. I also know that, honestly, so much of how A Song of City started and how it continued to grow wasn't perfect. Like the first ever tour we did, the world didn't see all the flaws. I know all the flaws. And I know all the things that I needed to learn to do better the next time around. And I counted some of those things as failures, as things that were not as good as they should have been. And so there was like one piece of me that was like, and then especially as you get older, I think that the more you start to realize failure is a very important part of the process. Because I don't think I would be where I am in anything today without failing a lot. Because that means I tried, and maybe it didn't go as well, but I'm confident in knowing that if I wanted to get there and I got there, if I didn't even try, I'd still be there. So, like, I'm a lot further than I would have been, and I'm getting closer to there. So failure's such an important part.
Definitely.
Perfectly put, Danny.
Yeah. And Ina, we kayak together, so she's seen the whole process.
I love the connection y'all have in all of those ways and more. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And leadership, yes.
Yeah, and let me just say, I am so happy and so proud of you. Oh, It was
It's huge.
so
It's
amazing
huge.
that we get to work together this
Yeah.
this coming kayak season and
Yes.
for many seasons to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was that was and when I started as a participant of this group, I never thought that I would first and foremost sit in a single kayak.
Mm.
I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think that I would have it in me. And now leadership, which I thought about in 2015, but I had a setback in my um, health, you might say, um, and I started to question everything about myself.
Mm.
And now I'm here.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
did it.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
but it's important not to give up. Um, actually believing that it will happen someday.
Mm. And I
Yeah.
think Diva, you had mentioned it, and I think it's another super important piece that so often we don't recognize well enough is how important the vulnerability in sharing those things are, and are to being a strong leader, to sharing all those little personal things about you that have put you in some ways and in large parts, I think, put you in a place of leadership, because you've been bold enough to try, you've been bold enough to share, you've been bold enough to be vulnerable, you've been bold enough to fail, and now you have all these new tools that you can now pass on to another young person who, you know, is now in your position, or where you were, where you had been, and needs somebody in leadership to step up and be vulnerable and to share, and to show them that even though you're in this position of leadership, that's not always who you've been.
No,
you
God no.
grew you grew into that,
Yeah.
as I think all of us do. We all, like, you know, the first team, one of the first teams that I got onto, as part of a big organization, was called literally the leadership team, and the director of the leadership team, lovely, incredible dude. The two guys who hired me, they're incredible. And the first thing that they told me right away was, we did not hire you because you're the most qualified for this job.
Yeah.
That's literally the first thing, and my immediate thought was, oh, okay, sweet. Um, and I almost got fired from the job once.
Wow.
But through that, I learned how to become more organized, how to do all those things that are important, again, through the lens of leadership style and skills and whatnot, to being the most well-rounded you can be. I learned how to do those things. Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
No, never.
What are you sorry for?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Because we're talking your story, Debo. We're talking your story. I don't want to pull it back to me. We're talking you.
No, I was actually done.
Okay. All right. Deal.
Then I can tell you about my leadership journey
Yeah.
with.
Go.
Yes, I I think I've been uh, uh, a leader in this organization,
Hmm.
that Eva is speaking of, who also have kids kids and youth camps,
Mm.
where it's both spina bifida, cerebral palsy, muscle disease. I don't know if that's correct, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Conditions. Yeah.
disabilities. Yes, and I think my first camp as a leader was like 10 years ago. And I can really remember the year when I really came to realize that if I'm going to be the best leader, the best role model for these kids, then I have to take care of me, because I think it was my first three or four summers. I was so focused on taking care of my two kids that I actually didn't make time for myself, like to eat, probably sleep. All my focus was on them. But I then came to realize that as a role model, which my role in RG active rehabilitation actually is. It's not it's leader, of course, but it's to be a role model for other kids and youths that also have spina bifida. So if I don't take time to eat and be like, I can come be with you in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just let me have my breakfast or lunch.
Yeah.
And then I can be my best self. Yeah. And of course, that could also be a growth process. Like the older you get, the wiser you get, and the more you learn about yourself. It could be both.
Of course, none of us are old, though, right? None of us are.
No.
I just realized a couple of days ago that I am actually a unicorn.
I believe it. Yes.
Good.
A unicorn.
Unicorns.
Please elaborate on that.
I have pink hair.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
with you.
Diva, you be the best unicorn you can be.
I intend to. That is my life's goal.
Oh, love it. I love it. Oh, that's actually so funny through the lens of leadership and like modeling the way. I love doing activities based around that. Like say you're doing like a get to know you with everyone, like get them to give their name, maybe where they're from, and if you had one spirit animal, what would it be? And then say Diva, you say unicorn. Cool, like why unicorn? And then you describe why your spirit animal is a unicorn or something like that. I love that. Or the other one is like, if you could combine two animals, what would they be? And there's like some ridiculous answers that come from that. Like I would combine a bee's head with a rhinoceros body.
Then I have two. It's unicorn and cat.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
Why?
Love it.
Why cats?
Because pet me, feed me, let me sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And scream for no reason.
Oh, kitties. Oh, kitty cats.
Yep.
Ay, ay, ay.
Speaking of getting to know each other, circling back to the four different leadership styles or personality the groups or
Yeah.
could you speak more about that, Danny?
Yeah. So it really based around like the compass, like the northeast, southwest, and it's really geared towards helping people understand, because I don't think, I know I didn't, like the first time I did that activity, I was like, whoa, mind blown. I never really thought about that all too often. But it really gives you a sense of your qualities. What are some of the leadership qualities that you have, and what you do really well, so you can, as Diva, you would mention, like focusing on your strengths. So like, you know what you do well, focus on that, but also be mindful of those other areas, so that you could also start to, as you're focusing on your strengths, focus on pulling up your weaknesses as well. So I mean, I started to realize that I used to be a very northern leader, like let's just get it done. And then I realized, okay, that's maybe not the best, most effective way to always approach things. And so I think I laugh at myself, because I went from north to working hard to be like the polar opposite to that, which is south. So like making sure everybody's on board, making sure everybody's, happy and doing well, and trying to be that person that's just showing up for everybody in the ways that we can all be happy through. And then I started to realize, okay, I love that. Yeah, I want to make sure everybody always feels like good and happy and all the things, but then we got to find that fine line between everyone be happy, but then we got to continue to move forward as well. Like we can't just stay stagnant. We got to continue to move forward. And so to continue to make sure everyone's happy and continue to move forward and to continue to dream big and all those things, and then be organized through that process. Just really, really interesting doing that for the first time. And I, the first time I did that, I was a young adult. I was 20, 25, something like that, 26. And I'm doing it with young people. And it's really cool that they're realizing that, but it's so cool as well, because even me as the person that's leading them, I'm learning at the same time how to, again, take this activity that I've now done a bunch of times. I know the kind of leader I am, but now I'm facilitating this activity and trying to model the way through helping them discover their own leadership styles as well. And it's so interesting because, again, one of the lessons to that exercise is we're not just one type of leader. That you'd have lots of kids who are like, well, I'm kind of a South, but like I'm kind of an East as well. Like I'm kind of somewhere in between. And so after they do the activity and we come back in to talk about it, one of the big things is we're not just one type of leader. There are things that we do well and styles that we gravitate towards more, but then there's also room to grow and to be the best leader that we can be. We want to try and be as smack dab in the middle as possible. So we're channeling north, east, south, and west as best as we can through anything and everything that we're doing. I love that activity. I love doing it with young people, but I also love it myself because I feel like every time I do it, my answers, especially over the years, my answers for myself continue to shift. And I like to think that I continuously get a little closer to the middle. Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with you there, Danny.
Yeah.
Of striving to be in the middle. I think, or as I see it, because I am so clearly a South person, and I would, of course, I can work on the analytical side, and but that's not me.
Yeah.
And that's not where I want to be.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more of a knowledge that these four qualities exists.
Yeah.
So just to have the wisdom, to know that I can in my work come across someone that is a total opposite of me. And leadership is to know how to help that person and help them grow, and also how can we communicate.
Heck yes. Yeah.
This is such a amazing and important conversation. Maybe we need more
part two.
But Diva, you want to chip in which leadership style, based on what Danny said, do you feel you are?
It depends on the task and the group. I think I'm a little bit out. I agree a little bit with Danny that it's good to have the knowledge and try to develop skills that work with all sorts of people um, in all sorts of situations. Um, but based on the model that Danny talks about that I'm familiar with, I don't know. I haven't given that much thought about it. I'm just trying to help people to the best of my abilities, and then I don't give a crap what model I use as long as it works. As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I when someone a couple of days ago asked me what is your task when you are a kayak leader, and I said observe, instruct, observe, and assist. What happens in between them? It's totally different. It's totally depends on the individual that I'm working with. Yeah, it is important to see the individual and what they what the goal is, what they want to achieve, and what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, and to find some common ground, and see how we can work together, because it's not me telling them what to do. It's actually us working together. Because if I can't collaborate with that person, then I'm not a leader. I'm a fucking boss. And I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in it.
Oh, this is so exciting, and I feel we need truly a part.
We'll do it again.
Speaking only around these four qualities, because because we there is a YouTube channel here in where it's for Swedish guys that models these four qualities. Then they talk around colors. So it's red, who is the like bossy and clear, and green.
You're very, very green there. I know that model too.
Like everyone needs this fuzzy feeling, and then yellow, like woo, and well, I'm a unicorn, and like in a more spaced out way. And then the blue one is the analytical. It's so very funny. It's Swedish, so yeah. But yes, we're out of time, guys. We need to wrap things up. Thank you all for watching this somewhat chaotic episode.
Perfect. It was perfect. Perfectly chaotic.
Like life itself, and I don't know who to blame. I
The
want
universe.
someone.
The universe.
Yes.
It's just one of those days.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
That's right.
anyway, hope you got something out of this, and if you like, or if you have some other comments, comment below, subscribe, share,
Yeah.
watch other episodes.
Don't be a stranger.
And then we will be back
Yeah.
in a month or less than a month.
Mm.
Who knows?
Mm.
Subscribe. Bye.
Bye.